So basically these are the new ones right here. This is for the left side. It does come with the wiring along with the actuator, or whatever you call this again. It's been a while since I've done a little wiring. So, and this is the old one which came off the passenger side. I was gonna say driver. Oh man, work has been tough, so please forgive me for, you know, blabbing the nonsense things that comes out of my mouth. So anyways, this is what it is. There are about 2 screws, same as the old one. There are actually 3 screws. Sorry, I forgot there was a bottom one right down there, and the plastic has to be in the way, so right there. So that bottom screw is basically right down over here. So you're gonna see that screw basically, oh sorry man, I am pointing in the wrong spot, right over here. So the other 2 screws is gonna be off to the side, so you're gonna have to reach in here all the way down here, as well as the other one is right somewhere around here up behind. So one way you can see them, you're gonna use a Phillips screwdriver, and you're gonna see the screws there, which I don't know where I'll put my flashlight. The screw is right where that wire is, right over here, and it is hard to see. Apologize. It's right over here. No, actually that's not it. I can't see anything. Oh, I see it. Let me get some flashlight in here. Right there. That is where the screw is, right over here. One of the screws, and the other one is right there. So this flap is gonna be in the way. So if you can fit your hand through here around this area, because this flap is in the way, feel free. I would suggest wearing gloves just in case there's spiders. You don't want to get bit by one, so at least the latex gloves kind of protect you. If you want to go, you know, double protection for free. So that's how it is. Taking off the other bolt, like I mentioned earlier, it's right over here, this guy. So you're just gonna unscrew it and it should pop off. All you gotta do is just pop it out. So now I'm gonna run the wires right up above. One way I'm being able to run it up is using a wire that actually goes through a different, so I could pull it up. And I ran this wire up inside right behind this body panel from the bumper, and that's how I was able to pull this up. So I'm not gonna run this wire right through here, because then the reason for that, it's gonna look ugly, and the wiring is gonna be showing up right under here, and you're gonna see a bump every time you open up your trunk, and I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do is remove the tail light and run the wiring right through this area, which is the tail light parking light area. So I'm gonna remove the screws. It's gonna be a 10mm. I removed most of it already. And the other one's right here. So there's 3 screws here. Just be careful. Hopefully it doesn't pop out, but I doubt it will. There is going to be another light here, so you're gonna have to push, I think, this whole tail light out this way, because it is being held. Oh, it is being held by little pop-ins. Oh, right there. Just be careful you don't break those. And there's one more right over here, which I am not seeing. It is pretty hard. So it's on here also, being held on by what is it called again, by some tape. So what I'm gonna do, instead of trying to, you know, mess the whole thing up, is I'm gonna try to run the wires right through there from the bumper all the way through there, by using the same method like a fishing line to hook it through there. And I'm just gonna try to do that. Just gonna run it through again and fish it through out that way. Okay, so instead of fishing it out, so it made it easier, I removed the screw that was there. It is magnetic, so you don't have to worry about you dropping it. The screwdriver is magnetic. So what I did is basically ran the screwdriver underneath here and basically just ran it through there. Sorry guys. And took out the screwdriver, just released it. So now what I could do is basically run this wire right behind it and then pull it outwards to the other end. I don't have my tripod at the moment, so I can't use both of my hands freely, so I'm gonna have to try to do this the other method. And then now I'm gonna run these wires right through that hole. Or if I could just grab it. Okay, so I got the whole wiring kit here. So I have the accessibility to wire it into the brake light assembly. Okay, so I basically got that all in there. So what I'm gonna do is push this back in. I'm gonna put the screw in. So I did this connected from the so it is gonna be up there, so you're gonna be able to see it. So what we're gonna do now is put everything back together. So you want to put this assembly right behind here. Oops, sorry, right behind here. Just be careful not to scratch it. If you are careless and you think you will, you could just put the keep the plastic on. And I think I am a little bit careless right now, but I should have just left it on. And it is kind of hard using one hand. It's not kind of hard, it's pretty hard, difficult. So what I'm going to try to do, go underneath and do this myself. Oh, actually I got it upside down. It's one thing for sure, it's not properly seated in, and I'm hoping I don't scratch this. And that is not going in like I expected. Okay, so I need to flip it, and it needs to go under. Oopsie, I am not really paying attention to the video. I really apologize guys. So you're gonna get it that way. You want to flip the reflector downwards first, basically facing the ground, to get in a position. And once you get in there, basically get that hole to line up right there. So you could do is start off on one of the screws and put that in. It's right here. So I got one of the screws in there, and then you want to get the other side as well. Hopefully it's seated. I don't know where it is exactly. I think I got it. Oh, right there. Okay, so you want to get the other screw. Not sure where I put those, and I'm not sure exactly where I put those screws at. It should be somewhere here. Somewhere where it's missing. Let's see. Sheesh. One's right here. Yeah, I'm not sure where the third one went. Alright, so I found the other one. I'm gonna have to reach in, try to see if I could feel for where the heck is that hole. Alright, so this one's a little harder because it's all the way back there. All in that, it's quite difficult to use both of my hands. The reason why is because it's in a spot where it's difficult to get in. No, I'm not really sure if, okay, maybe I could go through above the exhaust piping. Actually, yeah, I can. and that should help. So one thing is I cannot figure out where this hole is. It's pretty hard when you can't see where you're. Okay, maybe it's not seating where it needs to be. Let me. I don't think I got it in the right place. Okay, maybe it needs to go down more. Okay, let me figure this out. Okay, so I was able to figure it out. I had to use both of my hands, kind of hold the reflector in position while I put on the screw with my other hand. So I'm screwing on the right side first, and then I'm gonna get the other side, which it's somewhere here. I gotta figure out by touching area. Okay, it's right over here. I think it's gonna be difficult because of the fact that you're not able to see where you're aiming, and that's basically is gonna be the hard part of it all. And it is pretty hard. You can't see. Okay, so see, now I gotta hold it out, kind of screw it in. So I did remove that, hoping that I could just wire it to those wires, but since we don't have a wiring diagram online, I'm gonna have to test the lights and see which it goes to. Fortunately, I might need a test light to test it. Okay, this is taking a while to screw in. I'm not sure if it's screwing in, but it's not stopping. So hopefully, okay, it's getting there. Okay, so it's stopping. It looks like it's good. What do you guys think? Alright, so I'm gonna plug up the wiring. Gonna need both of my hands, wherever it is. Wiring goes. Maybe I could just use one hand. Let's see. Possibly. I could probably get away using my hand. Actually, no. I need both of my hands. Okay, so that's basically it right there. It looks good. See, compared to the other side, which looks like that. So in comparison, that's what it looks like. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna put everything back together. So I do gotta put that screw back on, as well as place this light back in. So other than that, that's basically it. So you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You're gonna pop it out, pop out those screws, 10mm nuts out of the way, and push this out of the way. Just be careful not to damage this little tab that's right over here somewhere, and it's right down there, right there, that little black tab right there. Just be careful not to break that, because that's going to go back inside this little hole right here, right inside here. Alright everybody, so what I'm doing now is the wiring for the reflector that we have. Basically it's just that little reflector that I had down here, and I'm going to show you guys how to wire this on the Mazda CX-5. This is for the GT Grand Touring Edition model. The wire is a little bit different, so comparison to the basic models, Touring, you know, I think the Touring might have the same lighting system, same wiring colors. So what I did right now is strip the wire, a little bit, about almost an inch long of exposed wire. So I'm gonna fold that in half, and then let's see. So I got one of these little crimpers right here for wires, basically to connect two wires together. So you want to basically crimp this section off onto the insulated section of the wire. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then crimp it down. You just use your fingernail or your finger just to keep it in place in its position, because then again, if you try to crimp it down with some pliers, it is definitely going to come off. that to happen. Want to make sure it's steady. So once I get it on there like that, just gonna kind of press more low pressure on there so it stays firmly, and then I'm gonna grab the other side of it, basically press it downwards just like that. So what you want to do is kind of work your way all around. Make sure the insulator section of the wire is crimped down all the way. What I'm gonna do is work on one side first, crimp it all down. That way it's not going down all the way. So I want to push this wire in more, so it's sitting properly inside, while I press these flanges in. You want to make sure it's rounded, not to where it's just too flat, so it's kind of holding in its place and snug tight. Now what I want to do at the very end, because what I'm going to use for this end section, what I'm going to do with this end section is kind of fold it in more like rounded, kind of round it all the way off. Now what I'm saying is the reason why we want to do that is because you're going to use these clips or sections to plug it in to the pigtails. Now I didn't want to strip the wires on each pigtail and then kind of wire it up, because it is kind of, what if I don't want it to look that way and I don't want it to be exposed too freely, and then you know it looks kind of ugly that way. You could buy those little butt connectors. Actually it's not butt connectors. You could use the butt connectors as well, but no, actually no, you can't. I forgot what those other connectors where you crimp the wires into. Basically it sits inside, cuts part of it, but that it's not a steady connection, so I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm gonna try these out. So kind of make it a little bit smaller, small as possible, and then flatten it out. You don't want to flatten it all the way out, because you want to be able to plug it in. It's like a plug and play. So what I did on one side is plug the red, which is the brake light section, onto the red area, which is probably the power. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure if that's the right one. So what I want to do is move it. There's a black wire here, which is the ground. I want to move that red one to the pink and black one. That might be the one that actually turns on the brake light, not the brake lights, but the, what do you call it, daytime running lights. The brake lights will probably be the one in the power, but you know what, that might not be it. So the red one is brake, which should be of the pink and black. So what I'm gonna do now is take it off. So what I did is basically pressed it in like plug and play. So that's what I basically did. Before I do that, I want to wrap the wires with tape just to protect it. You want to tape half of it. You don't want to tape all the way to the top, because then when you plug it in, you want to be able to get enough to be plugged in there. I'll show you guys what I mean. So kind of make sure it's a tight wrap. So you want these coming off loose, and then you're gonna notice it later on. I mean, you'll probably never really open this up unless it's necessary, but I doubt you will. So when I'm gonna plug this white one in, since it's the daytime running light portion, plug it into this middle section, which is gonna be probably the main wire that powers up the whole lighting system, and that is probably gonna go back here where it's more exposed, more space. So what I'm talking about is you're gonna plug it in there. So it is kind of wide. So you're gonna get the wire crimpers and kind of force it in there a little bit. Nicely, kind of wiggle in there. There. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the red wire, which is supposed to be the brake wire. When you brake, it should engage and turn on we'll find out that it is the correct one, because I didn't test it out. I had nobody to step on the brakes. So I'm gonna probably do is grab something to apply pressure on the brakes. That way I know it's working. If I know it's working, then I got it in the right place. So I'm gonna push this all the way in. There you go. Almost there. Okay. So we're gonna plug this back in. That's where it should go. Now we're gonna test the brakes. So one way to test if the turn signals work is you press the key fob button, and there you go. You can see both blinking. So I got the turn signals correct on the other side. Oh, actually I forgot to show you which one that is. So there's a wire there, which is the black wire, and there's another wire. There's only two, and another wire that is. So there's another wire there that's blue and pink. I think blue and pink. That yellow wire is the turn signal for the reflector. So you're gonna plug that into the blue and pink wire, and the black one there, just all black, is the ground wire. Obviously, same thing on the other side. There is a ground wire there as well. Otherwise, you could just ground it onto the body. Either way. So that's where the turn signal is. So now we're gonna test the daytime running lights as well as the brake light. So right now, guys, the brake light is working. As you can see, it's lighting up at the very bottom. So I'm gonna disengage it. That works for that. I used a little bar from my jack. Now what I'm going to test out is the part where it lights up with the daytime. So this is the headlight that's on. I think I got the brake on the wrong section. Let me double check. First possibility that it is the correct positioning of where the light should be. Let me check one there. So we're going to test it again. Take a look. The brake is on. Yep, that is the brake. Right, looks like it's still on at the moment. So the daytime running lights is still on until it turns off. So you guys can see that, right? So the moment it's locked, most likely it'll turn off. There you go. So I got the wires a little bit mixed up. So I'm gonna show you guys. So the red wire is basically gonna go in the center of this wire right here. There's 3 wires black. There's a, I think, pink and blue. I'm not sure. Let me take it off for you guys and show you. Makes it much easier. Okay. If it comes off, there you go. So right here, I got the white wire with the pink and black, and the one in the mid red wire with the red and green. So that's how it's gonna work. So that's how it is. That's it, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Did make a little bit of a mistake. I had the brake going off of the daytime running light, so I just had to swap both of these out. So that's how you plug it in, make it work. I probably could have just used the, what is that called, the other electrical tape, the liquid electrical tape, but that's fine. I mean, no one's gonna really notice this. So hopefully you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.